All right, I think we're live. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the ISRL Tier 2 Championship as we're just awaiting to load into Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix here. It's round 13 out of 18, and we are just about ready to kick off short qualifying. I am your host, Follow Monkeys, here, joined in the commentator's booth, as always, by ISRL Estunik. How you doing today, Estunik?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I'm excited to tune in and see what this race has in store for us, given the exciting race and the extremely exciting finish we had with the Tier 3 race. Do you think that's going to be anything in terms of what we might be able to expect for the Tier 2 race?
Absolutely. As we've seen all year with these guys, they always put on a show, but especially around a track like this, a lot to look forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to as we've got a full 20 driver grid as we're just seeing the first few drivers going out on track. So I think that's actually the Haas of Rafa Sisak. What?
Rafa Isaac.
Rafa Isaac. As I just found out how to pronounce his name, so we'll ride with him. We'll ride with Isaac, as I think I'm just going to call him for the rest of the stream here, as he's going to take us through the out lap. Meanwhile, I'll run us through the grid early on here. We have Irish Newt Potato in the Red Bull, as always. Synchro in the other Haas car. Nathan JB17. We have Cohen Ninjkamp in here as well. Mats 9555. Your own Visser looking for another strong showing this week. Isaac here, as I'm just going to call him. Formula Matt in the Mercedes car. AJ Wuhan in the Williams as he normally is. Also in an out lap. Dark 066 in that Racing Point, and Callis as well in the Racing Point. Their teammates there. Bumblebee in the Renault. We have Chris 85, Vito. We'll see what he can do starting from probably where he is now in P14. Lorenzo in 15 for the time being with no laps on the board. Slowboy here as well. Laparta, Jordan, End of the World, and Cruz as rounding out the 20 driver grid. So now as Isaac's going through, do you have any insight on what we can come to expect in terms of what we can see in qualifying, maybe the strategies, tire choices, anything like that?
It remains unclear. Just waiting to see. Dry race, cloudy but dry. All right, that's for Chris. So it depends on how you feel comfortable. Some people can start on the medium, and then it leaves the option open whether or not you wear the tires out. You can start on mediums, go to hards, go to softs. If you can make them, you extend them. Probably the best thing to do is start on the mediums, but these guys that want to qualify up near the front probably going to go for the softs. And depending on how hard you run those softs in those laps, you might be able to one-stop.
Ooh.
Oh
no, and Isaac having a bit of I think you probably saw that too. Isaac having a bit of trouble going up Eau Rouge. Maybe those medium tires that he chose maybe needed a bit more time to get the heat in them, as that's his first qualifying lap done and dusted before it really started. So not what he was hoping for to start things off. But hopefully he can.
Right up behind him.
Yeah, and that's the thing, he's gonna run into a lot of traffic here, especially down this, well, it's the best place to have it down this, probably one of the longer straights of the track, so he can let most of these drivers through. But I'm actually gonna quickly jump to Callis, as he's on a pretty good lap, it seems, so far. He opted for the soft tires, so potentially looking at doing a soft to hard strategy, as you were talking about a little bit earlier. But it looks like it's a bit of a mixed grid here from what I've got. About half the drivers on the mediums and half the drivers on the softs. So we'll see how that comes into effect in terms of the strategies as qualifying goes on. Because, it's still early. I wouldn't expect too many times that are going to be set on the mediums, for example, to hold up later on in this qualifying session.
A lot of drivers out on track right now.
Oh yeah.
Who's that? A slow boy who's gone around in Pouan. Got a lot of traffic coming behind him. Red Bull, McLaren.
Hopefully he can get back on track okay, as Callis, that's the first time on the board. It's a 142.4 to kick things off here. And you're mentioning lots of drivers out on track right now, and I'll be honest, I'm not overly surprised about the amount of drivers on track, because Spa it's a very long lap. Right, like the best time we have on the board right now is about a 142, so it takes about maybe 6 minutes, you would say, 5.5 to 6 minutes, I would think, to do basically to get one flying lap in. So you really have to take advantage of the time you have on track, especially in short qualifying, where with 18 minutes, you've only got really maybe 3 opportunities, and that's assuming everything goes perfectly.
Absolutely.
So definitely not much room for error, and I mean, you know, if you can get a good lap in even early on, it might be beneficial. Just given how easy it is to invalidate, especially going up some of these fast sections like Eau Rouge, going around the Pouhon corner, as we saw Slowboy have some trouble with, and even through, well, after Pouhon, that little fast chicane there, that's also another easy spot to invalidate or end up even worse. So really need an attention to detail, I would think, as we actually have Cruz, I just noticed as I was going on and on, sets a 1:41.8, and that is the new provisional pole time here with 12 and a half minutes to go.
Great time for him. First, we've seen, I think, pole for Q. I mean, tier 3. I'm not remember what lap it is. Actually, class of the field. Seeing, might see. You think we'll see a low 141?
I'd like to think we'll see a low 41. I mean, we're already into, I guess, the high to, you know, almost borderline middle 141s with 12 minutes to go, and with the onboard, it's looking pretty sunny out, so track conditions are probably going to be nice and warm, nice and grippy. So I would not be surprised with the way the track will evolutionize through this qualifying session if we do see low 141s or potentially even some high 140s if some of these drivers are very daring. Formula Matt actually setting a 142.3, good enough for a provisional second. So right now we've got the Mercedes sitting 1-2, as we've seen oh so often in the real life Grand Prix. We are seeing it here so far in the ISRL Tier 2 Championship here at Spa. But we'll see if anybody has anything to say about that. Irish Potato crosses the line, good enough for 7th on those medium tires. So not a bad time, all things considered. And we might see a bit more pace from him in a next lap later on in the session. Let's see. Who else can we ride on to right now as I'm seeing... Yeah, it looks like
is going into the pits. Probably the AlphaTauri. Sorry.
Yeah, AlphaTauri. Cohen going slow. Nathan going around. He's on the medium tires. Actually using some ERS as well. So let's actually ride with Nathan. Maybe looking to set a bit of a better lap than what he had with his 1:43.2. Coming up to some traffic here. Thankfully, it doesn't look like that'll affect him too much. As he had a Mercedes and actually his teammate Chris there as well to go by, but oh no, invalidate. So we might see him actually go into the pits now on this lap and potentially get a set of soft tires on for his next lap.
Yeah, we're already seeing only almost 10 minutes left in the session already. So
yeah, and that's goes back a little bit what I was mentioning earlier with the fact that Spa's such a long lap. Right, you're only seeing like we're 8 minutes through qualifying already, and really these drivers have only all set maybe one lap, I would think. So if you're not careful, yeah, well that's the thing, right? Like the two Haas cars, we've got Vito, Jordan, AJ as well. They haven't set times, although Isaac's taken 2 now on his lap, takes Eau Rouge much better this time around, and is able to continue on with his flying laps. So we'll see what he can do on his, I believe it's his debut here in Tier 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you are correct. And I'm just going to get the drink.
Oh, no worries. So it's his debut here, riding in that Haas car, like I mentioned. So we'll see what he can do, as we're getting a bit of a nice little view here as he's coming down the hill, entering into Sector 2, into Pouhon now, and we'll be able to get an idea of what kind of times he can put up here. And I'm hoping to see something competitive from him. And we'll see if he can take the battle to Cruz, to Formula Matt, and to Callis and everybody else up there, here in qualifying, as we're seeing more drivers coming out on their out laps now too, from some of these faster cars, and actually a purple second sector there for Isaac. So looking like a pretty good time now. Let's actually give the onboard. He's coming through this back portion of sector 3. He's coming up to a Red Bull, but I think there's enough distance for it not to not affect too much. But coming through the bus stop chicane, no, it won't have any negative effect on him. But as he's going to cross the line, what's it going to be for Isaacs? Good enough for 7th with a 1:42.7, so not a bad time on those soft tires, and starting right from the middle of the pack if qualifying were to end now. But let's actually jump to some of these faster. Or actually, let's go to AJ. It looks like he's on a lap right now and has not set a time. Opted for the soft tires this time around. So we'll see if he can get up there. We know he has the pace to set a fast lap and to compete with the quick drivers here in Tier 2, so we'll see if he can use that to his advantage and potentially set a nice blistering lap time here with 7 minutes to go and really put the pressure on all these other drivers. But coming around this back portion of Sector 3, potentially could run into some traffic, but might look like there's just enough distance for it not to be too much of a problem. Yep, definitely enough distance there so we get a better idea with the onboard, and might actually help out. Oh no, actually, as I say that, a little bit of a line issue there, but still good enough for 2nd. So still left wondering what could have been had it not been for that, I guess, the slow bus stop chicane, but still a very solid 1:42.2. Good enough for a provisional P2 for AJ Wuhan here in this short qualifying.
His teammate goes right to P2.
Oh, and yeah, Laparta just right as AJ set the time, his teammate just went and said, well, anything you can do, I can do better, and sets a 1:41.9. So really putting the pressure on Cruz, but still nobody has been able to beat that 1:41.853 that the man in the Mercedes had set on his first qualifying lap earlier in the session.
This is the pace from Cruz that we've been used to seeing over the past couple seasons here in Tier 2.
Oh yeah, and we've been... Yeah, and that's the thing. I know we've been talking about it seemingly stream after stream, but we might actually see a bit of a breakthrough here. And potentially this might be the race we'll finally see Cruz's, well, I guess we could say true potential. And he might actually come... I'm hoping that he'll be able to come out and potentially dominate the race a little bit. Not to say that I don't want to see a battle, of course, but it'd be nice to see him have a race like we know we can expect from him.
Yeah, I do want to point out one thing.
Of course.
Gexy is not here today.
Oh,
so this championship could potentially be all for Vito to lose at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, Vito not setting he's out on track, but hasn't validated, has not set a time. And actually, I just noticed, I believe that was the McLaren of Chris 85 parked out on track, and I see he is out of qualifying now. So I believe Ohuge took its first victim of Tier 2 in the form of Chris 85's McLaren, as that's his qualifying over just like that.
Joran Visser goes P1 with a 1:41.521.
Yep, so there we go, into the mid 1:41s now, and with 4.5 minutes to go, I think this is where we're going to start seeing the times really start hitting the board. Well, I'm still with Vito, letting his teammate through before going into the pits, so I guess a little bit par for the course. No time set for Vito here in Tier 2. 1:41.5 from your own Visser is the time to beat, as we mentioned. Lots of drivers in the pits still, but we'll see if the likes of Mats, if the likes of Jordan, if the likes of, even if Cruz is going to be able to take that pole position back. But it's all to play for now with 4 minutes to go in qualifying.
Jordan on a hot lap right now.
believe so. Oh, it looks like Jordan's on a hot lap, but actually Matt's. Yep, around at Pouan. We were riding with him on the stream, so not what he was hoping for, as that's definitely going to heat up the tires, add to the wear, and with 3.5 minutes to go, that's the kind of mistake you do not want to see happen this late in qualifying. Jordan, I guess he wasn't happy with his lap, as he is diving into the pits now. So still his 1:43.2 is the best time he has on the board. Now who else do we have?
Bumblebee's about to start a lap. Slowboy, his teammate, is starting his lap.
Yep, we have Callus on an outlap and Formula Matt on an outlap, so drivers to look out for a little bit later on. Let's see, let's actually ride with Bumblebee for the time being, as he's out on a flying lap, looking to better his 1:44. So we'll see. We saw the I think that was a Ferrari that did a very good job getting out of the way.
That was Vito.
Yeah, that was Vito. All right, good job by good sportsmanship from Vito, just letting the faster drivers through. Same thing with the oh my goodness, I think that was Callus there.
Yeah, Bumblebee has invalidated his lap.
Oh, not what he was hoping for this late, but if he hustles, he can still get around and set one last lap before the end of qualifying. But it's unfortunately at the mercy of the tires as well, as that's going to be an extra lap of potential wear on the tires if he's able to squeeze into the top 10 if he chooses to do a second lap.
His teammate right now sitting at P18 on a 2-minute and 7-second.
Yep, I think his previous lap, I think he actually also had a spin at Pouan earlier, which is probably the reason why his lap time is not necessarily reflecting the pace we hope he has. So we'll have to keep an eye on him, as I think he's actually coming through the third sector now. Let's actually jump to him quickly. Yes, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a better lap this time around, as he's coming up to the bus stop chicane. Where can he put that rental car this late in qualifying? What's it going to be? Good enough for 16th, so still a better time. It's a 1:43.7, so the Renault's looking pretty consistent in terms of their pace here from what we can see in qualifying. But jumping back to the...
He's going to try another lap, but
I think he's
showing a 29% ERS. It's going to hinder him,
but I think he's going to have to now with a minute left to go in qualifying, unless he's comfy with that starting in 17th. You might have to go for a lap and potentially just eke out that early pit stop. Now I'm actually riding with Callus to see if he can better his 1:42.4. Coming around the bus stop chicane, might have a little bit of help there on the start-finish straight. It's good enough for 4th, so not a bad time from Callus with a 1:41.997. So just squeezes into the 1:41s. But still, your own Visser's 1:41.5 is the time to beat. But Chris is out on a flying lap. Leparcta's out on a lap. Callus just finished. AJ's on a lap.
Isaac around through Radion again.
Oh no! So for the second time, that's Isaac around on Radion, I think. So not what he's hoping for here in qualifying, and we'll see if that's something he can sort out come the race. Now I've got Formula Matt, for those watching the stream, coming around the bus stop chicane. We'll see what kind of time he can set. Can he go quicker? Yes, he can, but not quick enough for pole, as it's a 1:41.832. And now we've got a lot of these I guess the big drivers now starting to set their times. We'll ride with Cruz as he's coming up Sector 3. Can he take pole position back now at the end of qualifying? Because time is up, and whatever lap times you set now is going to be the lap time you're going to live with. So let's see what's going to happen. So Cruz, as he crosses the line, not quick enough for pole. It's a 1:41.729. So it looks like for now it's Mercedes 2-3 with your own Visser's AlphaTauri starting on pole. But Leparcta coming around the bus stop chicane. What's his time going to be as he's coming down the start-finish straight? Can he take pole? No, he can't, but he does split the Mercedes drivers as he comes in third. And unless Callis has anything to say about it, as it doesn't seem like that is the case, not using any ERS, it looks like everybody else has set their times. And I think that's all it's going to be for qualifying, as no, I don't think Mats is on the lap not using any ERS. So it looks like your own Visser, 141.521 is the pole setting time, with Cruz starting in second, Leparkton in third, and Cruz's teammate Matt starting in fourth. So not a...
Jordan's on the lap.
Oh, Jordan is...
Or is he? No. Says he's finished. I'm confused, sorry. That's my fault, sorry.
Yeah, no, I got a little bit lost there. The only one I'm still seeing sort of on a lap is Matt's, but that's, well, invalidated now, but not really using any ERS. So that'll be his lap done soon enough, I would think. But I was gonna say a very strong showing by the Mercedes drivers here around this track. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come in the race, and we might see a bit of a Mercedes dominance here. But of course, lurking down in 18th, we talk about him every week.
I was gonna say, there he is. He knows
right?
Something that the rest of the field doesn't.
Oh, I'm sure he does. So lurking down into 18th with free choice of tires, and potentially having plotted out this strategy since Tuesday and refining it since Wednesday. It's ISRL Vito, always one to talk about, because I'm sure before we know it, we'll see him all the way up the grid and potentially battling for the win. And as you said, Stunik, it's Vito's championship to lose, with Gexy now having missed his, I believe it's his second race in the row that he's missed. So that's...
last week he crashed.
Okay, he crashed last week. But it's another week without any points for Gexy, so really hindering himself in this battle for the championship.
Yes, after round 12, meaning including this one, only 6 races left. Vito's lead to Gexy is 120 points. So he could still technically do it, but he's gonna have to have some bad luck go Vito's way, which I'm not sure is even a possibility.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's gonna have to be I wouldn't even call it bad luck, just a string of bad races for Vito. But even then, Gexy would have to have a string of very good races to go along with Vito's string of bad luck. I think to have a decent chance at the championship at this point. Now I think we're just waiting for Isaac to finish up, or for the time to run out now in short qualifying, so that we can kick things off for the race.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just looks like it's just Isaac who's on this outlap for all of eternity. Now we'll see. He's gonna cross the line. Is that gonna finish qualifying? No, it's not. Still going out on a outlap now.
Probably just leave the session.
Yep, I think either that or if we can just retire from the session.
Oh, never mind.
Let's see, I guess for the time being, we might just have to sit patient as we'll watch this car go around the track once again.
Oh boy. Codemasters, please.
Yep. As it sometimes happens, it's wonderful when the game works. When the game runs into issues like this, it is not so wonderful. I know I've seen this one in the past where it's just no qualifying time remaining, 1 second. Normally, I think when that driver in question retires, it does sort out the issue. I don't know if it just sorts itself out after a certain amount of time though. But now we're just kind of waiting on Rufus Isaac to finish up so we can move on to the race.
Yeah, race. I mean, we're tagging him in the Discord to let him know that he should probably just back out. But oh, there it is.
Oh, there we go. And there we go. So we have come to the end of qualifying. as in just a moment we'll take you through the order, and there we go. So as we said, you're on Vasseurs AlphaTauri starting from pole with a 141.5. 2/10 behind him is the Mercedes of Cruise 9K starting in second. Laparta in third, Formula Matt in fourth, Callis rounding out the top five, Dark in sixth, AJ Wuhan in seventh, Irish Potato in eighth, Nathan JB in ninth, and End of the World rounding out the top 10. On free choice of tires, we have Cohen Inchcamp, Isaac, Bumblebee 35, Matt's 9555, Jordan, Lorenzo, Slowboy, Vito, Chris, and Synchro rounding out the order. As we are just about ready to start the formation lap and then move on to what we're all waiting for here, the start of the actual race here for the Belgian Grand Prix.
This one's going to be absolutely cracking, as they would say.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an extremely exciting race, I feel. So now as we're waiting on this potential minute, 2-minute break or so, what do you think we can expect to see now that qualifying is over and we're transitioning on into the race?
Well, now it's all about playing a strategy game. What can you handle? What can you make work? How do you get to the optimal strategy? But then you got to think of things that you just don't know. Like there's variance you don't know when a safety car could happen. Anybody, as we've seen earlier.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And Tier 3. Yep, Tier 3 has shown that a safety car can turn a race on its head, and we saw that just a few hours ago. Like I said, in Tier 3, as Laparta readies up, so we do have the timer kicking off, and we will have the race that will start in about 5 seconds from now. But that's the thing, and I did notice as I was going down the order, only one driver of the top 10 actually set their time on the medium tires, I think. So everybody except for one driver, we'll see who that is. If I can get the right detail. Yeah, that's Irish Potato, the only one of the top 10 starting on the medium tires. So potentially an advantage for the Red Bull driver in terms of strategy compared to everybody else on those soft tires, which, especially around Spa, the soft tires don't really have all that much tire life, I found. So we might see Irish Potato battling it out for the lead later on in this race, I would think.
Absolutely.
Now, even looking at it's a bit of a mixed strategy as oh no, not what Vito was hoping for, as there's a little bit of contact with Chris under the formation lap, so very cold tires to start off the race. Which might have a bit of a hindrance, and that's not what you're hoping for, especially if you're.
Chris is on the hards
yeah,
too.
yeah, that's actually. Yeah, just what I was about to mention with Chris being on the hard tires. It's definitely not what you're hoping for, as those tires are going to be ice cold on the start of the race. On the charge into turn 1.
I see that you have.
And Laparta now too, and Formula Matt. So another incident here, a little bit higher up on the grid, as the formation lap is breeding a bit of contact amongst drivers, getting the battling started off a little bit early, it seems, here around Spa. Maybe it's a sign of things to come with the race.
Oh, you can only imagine. Turn 1's a bit hectic always around here, so the start here for anybody starting in the mid-pack, with a guy like Enda and Cohen, really just squeeze absolutely in the middle of everyone. It's really just going to be hit on a swivel down into turn 1 and then up through Arouge and Radion. So,
oh yeah.
Do we get another first lap safety car?
Let's see. We'll find out in probably just a few moments, as those watching at home are getting the predicted pit stop strategy: soft to mediums or soft to hards, right around lap 8 to 10. So the game is indicating the mediums and the hard tires can go the same amount of time. My experience, the medium tires fell off after about 10 to 12 laps. Soft tires maybe 6 to 8 at the most, I would say. And the hard tires a little bit longer than those medium tires. So I think soft to hards is probably the best strategy, but your experience may vary behind the wheel, of course, as the drivers are lining up on the grid now, just awaiting Synchro as the last driver to line up so he can kick off the race and get started for real Now, where is the interval? And let's put the position change so we can catch any possible drivers who are going to fall down the order. Let's get a nice view of the AlphaTauri of Jeroen Visser there as we're waiting to kick things off. Let's leave it on this view for the time being so we can get a nice picturesque view of the 5 red lights when they choose to go off.
Drivers are just sitting on the grid. Wonder if we're
Yeah.
having the same problem with Rafi again. Rejoined.
Yeah, could potentially be this the same issue. Maybe some connection issues going on for the for Isaacs there. As once again we're getting in some insight on the 2-stop strategy, where if you're going 2 stops, soft mediums, stop it around lap 6 and then I guess lap 12. And here we go. As yep, so did I.